Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 39.
Episode 39, Jimmy Old School Flips, Ken SSKPromo, and we have a special guest. And before he tells us about himself, Ken and I have to give him the proper intro. Ken.
Mountain Man.
Treasures.
Not bad.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Troy, what's going on, man?
How you guys
Troy
doing?
Mountain Man Treasures. Thanks for coming on.
I've had like kids. I've had people send me videos of their kids singing the thing. I've never had Ken sing it, so I can add it to the list. I did just get a video of somebody's puppy watching it the other day. Apparently, the puppy runs roughshod through the house, and when the intro comes on, they actually sent me a video. He goes, "Huh?" And stares at me, and when it stops, then he's back to do just the intro.
Do we know what kind of dog it is? Do we know what the breed is? Is it a mutt?
Well, yeah, that would make sense.
It's not a little Frenchie, is it?
I think just a little lab.
A little lab. All right.
A little retriever, little lab. I'm not sure. I got to look at the video again. It'll be on an upcoming video because it was cool. He said I could share it. So
now we definitely don't want to do an interview format, but just tell us a little bit about yourself, Troy. So I know all of our listeners know who you are, but just in case, tell us a little bit about yourself, Troy.
Man, I don't know. I've got a little YouTube channel that I started. I don't even know how long it's been. I guess it's about 2-3 years ago. It feels like, I think, I don't know. Time
Seems
sort
like
of doesn't mean anything when you're working in a garage by yourself.
Yes,
you kind of lose a sense of it's
become
sort of it's like casinos. There's no windows because they don't want you to know what time it is. I don't have a clock or windows in here. Same ideal. I pump in oxygen into here to make. I don't know how long I've been doing this. I've been doing it full time since the spring. I started as just a side gig doing reselling.
Yeah.
Thinking, hey, I can bring in a couple extra $100 a month, maybe. At that point, I was thinking, hey, that would be cool. That would help out. We were paying off, student loans and medical bills and the normal stuff. And then at some point, I was kind of getting tired of. I worked in newspaper for a very long time, and I jumped ship and went to radio, which is what I started. That was my first job in high school, was radio.
That explains the radio voice.
Yeah, I can't help it. Voice. It's just there. As a sophomore in high school, I started working at a radio station, and I did that through college, and then got into newspapers, and then escaped back. But I just started getting tired with it. I was working long hours. I was calling football games and doing stuff like that. When my daughter she's on the dance team. And she was performing at a halftime show across town, and I was calling another game. And I didn't get to see it, and I got real tired of missing.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what, this side hustle that I'm doing, let's just make it the thing. Let's just
the hustle.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how it works. It works completely different, and it's a learning process, but I love it, and it's so much better. I haven't missed a performance. It's her senior year. I haven't missed a performance all year. So, just as a family move, it made sense. This is just a great job to be able to do stuff like that.
Now,
and
lots of freedom
to be able to do that.
Should we be concerned about you at all? Like we're concerned about Ken now. Ken, because he works alone at his house, he's got all these characters behind him now.
Right.
You got some characters going on behind you too. I see. Who's the guy right here with the hat?
I got the prospector.
The prospector.
Yes. He changed his wardrobe a little bit. He's got that Barbie. She's leaving. She sold this weekend.
Okay. Oh,
perfect.
Well, good.
That's an $85 sale right there.
Oh, I saw your video about those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, she talks. It's going to sound super creepy because it's warbly. Let's see.
Jimmy sounds super creepy.
What the?
Right? Yeah. It's
help me pick more hair.
I've never said that.
These things, they never even work at all when you find them. So
help me fix my hair is something I haven't said for many a year. What Troy, like I said, we don't do.
Lives there though. I found him the first year I started doing this, and I actually put it up. Nobody was watching my channel at that point, but I asked the people. I was like, "Hey, what do you think? Do I keep this guy or should I sell him?" And everybody told me I should keep him. But I've had several people say, like, if you put him up, if you're going to sell him, I'll give you. I've had offers of like $300, $400, $500 for the guy.
Wow.
He's awesome.
Now, are those his Ray-Bans that he's rocking on his chest right there? Or
those are actually the dollar store sunglasses that I wore for the reseller calendar that I picked up, and then I gave him, and he's wearing a Mountain Dew hat right now. I changed his hat, but he's really cool. He was actually made by some lady back in the day. I forget. I bought him from this lady said it was her aunt. And she used to make stuff like that. He's like, if you look at him close, he's got like chest hair individually stitched in, and like it's
Harry Tornado, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's Harry Tomato. He's super detailed, and apparently this lady was like a big deal in like the doll puppet. Like she was in magazines, and
really,
if I tried to sell it, it probably would be worth quite a bit. But he just sort of became synonymous.
You can't get rid of it now.
So. He hangs out.
Not at all. Yeah, not for sale. Anything old screen flips back here. He's not for sale.
What about Nutty Buddies that you got behind you?
Oh, that's a sponsor of the show. Nutty Buddies. Do you like Nutty Buddies, Troy?
Yeah, if you freeze them, put them in the freezer.
Ooh.
Oh, see,
and it just adds. I mean, they don't turn rock hard. But it adds a little bit different. I love them frozen.
Oh, that sounds actually really good.
I had never thought of freezing them.
Honestly,
I'll have to take one of those packages. Now, I wonder if you're able to pull the layers apart. So I was discussing the other day how to eat Nutty Buddies, or how do you eat Nutty Buddies? How do you eat Nutty Buddies? Do you just like bite into them? And
I mean, you got to take that initial bite, but then you can peel layers once you got that initial seal.
I'm right there with Troy. That's exactly. I take the first bite, then layers.
Yeah. You pull them apart, and there's like 4 layers, and so on a 2-pack, you actually get to eat like 8 Nutty Buddies.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie; they would never get frozen in my house. They would never make it that far. No,
they would
not enough time for them to freeze.
And they wouldn't thaw out before Jimmy finished them.
Well, you don't thaw them out. You just pull them. I do the same thing, like ho-hos and like all that stuff. I love throwing like random stuff in the freezer. Makes it better.
Most people try deep frying stuff. Troy, no,
I go the
He's
other
going
way.
the opposite way. He's going.
I live Jimmy, in Montana, man. It's like 40 below. It's the first thing I think of. Like,
just set them outside, and they're frozen on the way back from the grocery store already. You could eat them right out of the car.
Yeah,
exactly.
Frozen solid.
Troy won't be sourcing until the middle of July. Out there in Montana.
No, I mean, I source here and there, but garage sales are going to be a bit. It was actually like 50 degrees today. It really warmed up.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent around here. Still like 40 or so, but it was 10 on Friday. So
I still got ice in the driveway, so it's not like it's garage sale season yet.
Does the snow pile up there where you're at? It just piles up, right? Like it doesn't melt during the winter, does it?
No, because it stays cold enough. Like it starts to melt. I still have snow in my backyard. It was 50 degrees for the last couple of days, and I still have snow.
Yeah.
And then because it refreezes at night, and then in a week it'll snow again. So it just it layers.
I am going
doesn't
to
really
add
here in Colorado. It melts.
I'm going to add Montana to my list of places I do not want to visit. Do not visit.
See,
Montana.
Visit in the spring or in the summer.
You could go to the Yellowstone Ranch up there and meet the Duttons.
We've just started finally watching that show.
Oh, same here. I'm in season 2 right now.
It's the same sort of deal. I mean, I did sports when I worked in newspapers for a very long time. I worked in Texas for a long time covering football and stuff. Friday Night Lights, everybody, when they were freaking out about Friday Night Lights, I was I see it every day. I don't want to watch the TV show. I'm living in it. So it took me years to finally go, okay, fine, I'll watch the show. Because I didn't need to watch it. I lived it.
Jimmy, I'm thinking we found our guy. We might have to call on Troy later on for the big, since he has experience calling football games, he could call the big Nerf quarterback challenge that Jimmy feels that he's a better backyard Nerf quarterback than I am. I'm the GOAT.
Are you a good Nerf quarterback, Troy?
I don't know. I guess I've never put my Nerf quarterbacking skills to the challenge.
Were you a quarterback? I mean, if you were picking a position, if you were a football player right now, what position would you be?
I mean, look at me, Ken. I mean, I gotta be like a fullback, right? Like
left guard,
some sort of lineman. Yeah, one of the non-glory positions.
I don't know. I've always maintained that the best position on a football team is long snapper.
Oh,
like if you're going to be
the game,
professional, like if I had a son and he wanted to play football, I would have told him that's what you do. You because every team needs one. It's a specialized position. You have to have one that's very, very good, which means you can get a scholarship to go to college being a long snapper. Every NFL team has to have one. Guess what? You can't hit the long snapper. He works out with the punter.
You can't line up over him.
Right. He doesn't really get hit all game long. He practices with the kicker and the punter. They don't do anything but goof around, and I covered practices. I know. I've watched them. I was at a lot of football practices.
Dang it. We all missed our calling.
Perfect position is long snapper. And then
I thought about that.
You can also then play in the league for like 15 years because there's no wear and tear on your body. It's the perfect position.
That's actually, I'm going to go talk to my boys right now.
You learn something new every day. Every episode of the Reseller Clickbait podcast, you learn something. And today it was start long snapping.
That's actually
that's perfect.
Great idea for all you young football players out there. Stop going out for passes. Stop running the ball. Just become a long snapper.
Right. There's no big worry with that position, but
you can make a nice living. I should Google that. What did long snappers make in the NFL?
Start playing long snapper at the age of 46. Yeah, my question. With a hernia, is that possible?
I'd take league minimum, Ken. I mean, league minimum for 15 years. That's not bad.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh man. I'm rethinking this whole reselling thing right now.
This is a reselling podcast, is it? Or is that
what it's supposed to be? And we don't really do an interview show, Troy, but I know that our audience, what they want to know is, have you been watching the new Quantum Leap series?
They don't want to know that, but
I tried actually, Ken. Because I grew up, I'm a kid of the original. Yeah. Like I watched the original. Scott Bakula, Dean Stockwell, right? Like he passed not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long.
He did.
Yeah, that was a great show. I tried to watch. It's fine. I'm sure if people never saw the original, they're like, this is a cool idea. But no.
Yeah, it's hard to get past thinking about the original, because I, probably seen every episode of the original, but they have a lot of ties to the original. And I think it does center a lot around Al, the character. I think a lot of that's going to come into play.
Ooh, but spoiler alert.
You never know. So you should be watching, Jimmy.
Well, I said this before.
I keep telling you,
and
every week.
I don't want to go into it too much, but I stopped watching the show, the episode where they zip tied him to just a regular plastic shelf that's not, the shelves you keep for your eBay inventory that's not attached to the ground or anything.
A Rubbermaid shelf.
Yeah, they zip tied him to one of those, and then he acted like he was stuck. And I was like, just take the shelf apart. Anyway, so
if you could get past that. It's a pretty good show. I've been enjoying Quantum Leap, and so I'll reach out to all the listeners that touch base that said, if you're going to have Troy on, you got to ask him if you watch. Oh. Well, maybe it was just me that wanted to know, but in my head, everybody wanted to know.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there probably are a lot of voices in your head that wanted to know.
There are. All these guys have one.
Look at his monikers right there. He got so many names. The recent
SSKPromo.
He just got the name Poop Shoe recently too.
Last week
he played football with poop in the shoe. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch last week's episode.
I want to talk about, because Troy did a video about it. I want to talk because this is a reseller podcast, and we're gonna joke about it, but we also have some serious talk about the most recent eBay. What is seller update?
The winter seller update.
That's what it's called. I don't pay attention to any of this stuff. I just push sell. Troy did a video about it, and it's really informative. And he's got a great point about it. So I want to ask him about his thoughts on the update, because I agree with him but I'm gonna let him say it, and then I'll just agree.
Oh, well, you put the work on me and go ditto. I like how you work there.
Yeah.
Jimmy. I don't know. Basically the big thing, I got excited when I saw, like, you read the front end, and they go, hey, we're continuing to work on this thing where we're going to get payment, actual payment from people when you accept an offer, or when, they didn't bring up auctions at all. They completely ignored the fact that there are non-payment issues in auctions. Didn't even mention.
Yeah.
But they said, hey, we're going to keep working on this. And I'm like, okay, well, let's learn more. You click the learn more button. It goes, yeah, we're going to keep working on it. Like literally, that's the update.
Yeah, that was the winter update.
We're working on it.
And we added fees on top of that.
Yeah, your fees are going up, but only by 0.35%.
Oh, yeah. I thought the way that they worded that is, they just kind of in the whole thing. Oh, and some categories have some categories, and by some do they mean like all? Pretty much. Well, I don't know about you guys. You guys sell a lot of tires. Are you selling tires out there?
Because bicycle tire before
that category went down, like automotive tires.
Like they seem to like wave that as a banner of look what we're doing for eBay Motors.
Yeah,
I know people,
and they get commercials. eBay Motors get commercials.
Yeah.
What's that?
I
don't
saw
know why they
how many last night.
Like, and they're like, we launched the Vault. Is anybody using that?
I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
It has to do
like
with
for.
You can send. It's sort of like the Amazon warehouse, basically.
Oh, that's right.
eBay, but it's for like high end, like trading cards and stuff.
Yep.
Like
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you my $1,000 card to hang on to it and trust that when somebody buys it, you send it out to them.
Yeah, it was like it's supposed to be like FBA, their version of FBA, right? Fulfilled by Amazon or fulfilled.
And it's super frustrating because the way I don't remember the actual wording, but the way it was worded basically was, hey, look at all this stuff we did for you last year. And some of it was good stuff. They added more pictures. They said, oh, look, you can put video in. Now, they did some good things. And they said, and we're still working on it this year. We haven't raised any rates. We didn't charge you for any of this.
Yeah,
so now we have to raise your fees because we're going to continue working on this immediate pay thing.
Right.
Like why?
Yeah.
It was sort of a, they said, that they were advertising. They touted that they're advertising. I haven't seen it. eBay Motors here and there.
Yeah.
And I think there was an authenticity commercial that showed up, but it's like on YouTube or on Google or something.
I've seen the authenticity. Yeah.
I haven't seen stuff.
What is it, Jimmy? Jimmy doesn't do words.
I don't do words, especially
he doesn't do math. He doesn't do words. Okay, now I get the distinguished privilege of being a tie-breaking vote because I do know that there is a topic that kind of came up in the winter update that Jimmy and Troy differ on.
This is true.
Yes,
I know
true. Because people won't pay for his stuff.
Yeah, I've seen. I basically watch everything that Troy does. And
yes,
I've seen his videos, but I've also seen him in Facebook. He's in the Trash to Cash Facebook group, and I've seen a lot of his comments on people asking about. Go ahead though.
I'll set this up. This is okay, and we'll get Troy's point and then Jimmy's counterpoint.
Yeah,
is the topic of the immediate payment for best offer, or if you send an offer or if you receive an offer of the buyer having to pay for that when they committed to that sale. Should they? And that was one of the things in the winter update that we just talked about, that they said, oh, we're working on that. We're working on that. You brought that up. So, Troy, what is your stance on immediate payment?
Oh, wait. I want to go first that way because I have an idea. Can I go first?
Yeah, it's your show, Jimmy.
Yeah, but Ken, he's mean. Ken, afterwards,
the taskmaster over here.
I'll be lucky to be back next week if he.
If this works out well, Troy, are you free next Sunday night? We'll and then Jimmy eventually will have you on as a special guest.
Because then I'm going to kind of ask.
Man, I gotta say, Jimmy,
me why I should care more. That's why I want to say.
Yeah, go for it, Jimmy. Why? You're giving me the job of growing your heart. Like you're the Grinch,
exactly.
And I'm the Whoville. So go for it.
Exactly. Don't start singing one of the Whoville songs, though, please. You can if you want. So we differ because I don't care that much about it's never bothered me. And maybe it's because I'm so used to, like right now I have 4 unpaid waiting for payment. And it's literally a part of my day every single day. Maybe it's the volume that I do. I got 1,600 listings. I'm shipping 10 a day. To have 4 unpaid at one time is not abnormal to me. It happens all the time. Daily, I have stuff that I have to check on if they've paid or not. And 5 times a week, I end something or cancel the order because the buyer didn't pay, and then I relist it. It happens at least 5 times a week, every single week of my life. So I'm just gotten used to it. But I can also say if I go back a year and a half ago, there's nothing on my shelf that hasn't sold. So for me, in the long run, it's sold. Eventually it sells. Whether that person paid for it or the next person pays for it, eventually it's gone out the door. Now, I do somewhat understand for maybe a smaller seller, someone that's doesn't have the volume or just, doesn't like to have that item off of inventory for a while. But I do ask Troy, convince me to come to the right side of this and why I should care more.
Well, first off, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that you pointed out that my side is the right side.
Yes.
So you started the conversation saying, convince me to come to the right side. So I appreciate that you see that your view is flawed. You're starting in a good place, Jimmy. You said I do this every day, every week, for every month, so you're beaten down is what you're saying. Like, they just make me do this. I'm used to it. It's fine. How much time every day and every week do you spend doing this thing that you don't care about anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I check it at least
twice. Answer the question, Jimmy.
I don't know. No, I check it a couple times a day, every day. And right. You're right. I look at the calendar.
So it's taking time out of your day that you could otherwise be watching YouTube if you were doing nothing, or listing or sourcing or researching, sleeping in, whatever it is. It's wasting time. And that's the biggest thing, is it's completely wasting our time. It shouldn't happen. Mercari's got it figured out. Poshmark has it figured out. Amazon certainly has it figured out. You go on Walmart to buy apples, they're going to make you pay. You can't go, can I pay you on Tuesday? They're going to make you pay now. Right? If Whatnot is the baby in this situation. They have all kinds of glitches. What they don't have is an issue making people pay as soon as they say, yeah, I want that thing. It's a binding thing. It's not a technical thing, because if it's a technical thing, eBay needs to rethink who they're hiring, because everybody else has this thing figured out.
Yeah.
They're making a conscious decision not to do it, because it can't be hard. If Whatnot, the brand new system, has it figured out, eBay's been around for a while. Certainly they can do it. It's just a waste of our time. And like you said, for the people that maybe they only have 300 things up and they've sold the big thing that they had, it's a $150 thing. They're excited. They sold it. It sits there for 4 days, nothing happening. They lost all of the watchers they had on that thing when it got bought. All the traction that it had gained is gone. If it was showing up, it takes a while for things to show up, like on Google searches and stuff, to get into the system. All of that's gone now. So they're starting from square one. They're starting from zero when that thing relists. So it's just, I'm not a layaway program. If you want to buy something, buy it. If you don't have the money, wait until you do. If somebody else buys it out from underneath you, that's fine. Sorry. I mean, I've got a North Face bag over here that I've sold 3 times. 3 times. And it's not a big deal. Like, in and of itself, it's not a huge deal, right? I haven't moved it.
Right.
It's still sitting where it's sitting, but it's sold 3 times, and 3 times they haven't paid for it. It's just, it's obnoxious, and it shouldn't have to be something we figure out. And that doesn't even talk about the people that do auctions. We were talking about before the show. I've got a guy here in town that all he does is auctions. And he does pretty well. And despite it not being really an auction format anymore, he does pretty well on it because he does volume. Yeah. And so he makes it up on a volume game. I have no idea. I haven't asked him, but I've got to assume he's got a lot of people that don't pay on auctions. So if you have an auction item that you go for 7 or 10 days, they don't pay for 4 days. You've got to run it for another 7 to 10 days. So you've got one item sitting around that should have sold a week and a half ago. That's dumb.
That's a huge factor to me, because I don't do auctions. I haven't done an auction in years on eBay. I don't ever do them. And I'm not thinking about that seller when I say what I say. And so I need to put a bunch,
more
like 35
compassionate,
asterisks next to my explanation because, I don't even take that into consideration. If I was an auction seller, I mean, that guy you're talking about he could have 50 unpaid waiting for payment. I don't even think about that. The volume that I have, and he's doing auctions, that means he's probably got a ton. But I do want to say, you got me with the whole Popeye wimpy thing. That's where you got me. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Is that the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you got me. So I'm sold. That's all you had to do was say that.
There you go.
Well, eBay kind of has the problem figured out. I mean, because it has rolled out. I have received offers, either sent an offer or received an offer that says right in there, the buyer has a prepaid form of payment or whatever. When you accept this, it will be immediately paid. And they keep talking about how they're going to roll that out, that it's available to some right now, and they are rolling that out. It's like, why not? If it's there, if the software, if the technology is there, why not everybody? It just seems like the most logical thing. So I'm going to go with my tiebreaker vote. I'm moving to the mountaintop. I'm going to be selling off the mountain here soon myself, when it gets warmer, of course, spring and summer. Is I'm on, Camp Troy with this. Is why not? Why do I have to wait? It is the annoyance. It's that time killer. It is that when you put up a good item that within a day or two, it's going to move, and maybe even the same day, the next day, you get that offer. And then now that good item has to sit. Yes, it is going to sell when you get to that 5 days to cancel the item and then relist it. And then
you've been talking way too much.
I'm
joking.
Yeah,
you're not gonna say anything to make me mad. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Sorry, guys. Everybody listening, I'm sorry. It was just a joke.
So it's why not just implement that for everyone? It is so annoying. You almost are hesitant. And the text right in there that says, when you're sending offer, the offer is accepted, we'll notify you. The buyer has 4 days. Right. We'll notify you when they've paid.
Right.
Why, eBay? Why is that even a thing? If you know you're going to buy it, you should have to commit to that form of payment to buy it. Hands down, no question.
Now, we both know I don't, and we all three know I don't do big words, and I don't know words, but can I play? Is it devil's advocate?
Sure.
That means I'm gonna.
You got advocate, but you struggled with devil, Jimmy.
I know, right? Doesn't make any sense. I couldn't say devil at all. I was all advocate perfectly. The dev.
You're the devil.
What if we? And I'm gonna get beat up, and I don't care. I'm used to getting beat up for not having problems with eBay very much, and not letting this stuff bother me. Like, it literally doesn't bother me. What if eBay though knows that they'll lose sellers on their platform, and a lot of their sellers don't want that. They just, let's say they've done some kind of research and they just know that that's going to hurt they make their money from sales. They don't want to do something to lose those sales. What if they just know?
Well, explain to me why a seller would not want that to happen. Why would any seller say, I don't want to get paid immediately for an item?
No, it's not so.
I have heard from some that complain about it, that I feel like they're a vast minority, but there are people that maybe sell one category, like they sell a particular kind of ephemera, say. Yep. And so they have maybe repeat buyers that keep coming in their store. And I've heard people say that, well, I have buyers that come in and they put something in their cart on Monday and they know I'm not going to, I'll let them wait a week, because maybe they're going to come in on Friday and get something else and put it in the cart, and they want to buy it all at once.
And maybe I used the wrong word. I meant buyers.
That as something that happens, that people want to make multiple purchases. I know that happens, but that's not the majority of your sellers. And I think eBay solves that by just putting a toggle switch on there. Do you want this on your account or do you not? I should be able to say, No, you know what? I don't want my people to have to pay right away. That's fine.
Well, okay.
Toggle switch.
They do have a button on there already for require immediate payment, but then for some reason that doesn't apply to best offers or offers.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What is the point of that?
Maybe
button?
for auctions.
It doesn't work for auctions either.
Then why does it even? Yeah, I've never tried using it.
What's frustrating, and I don't know if eBay can do anything about it, but I've gotten some of those offers, like you said, Ken, of, hey, this guy sent you an offer and he's got a payment. You're going to get it if you accept it. And then it's gone through 4 days.
Yep.
And they haven't paid.
That's happened to me.
Because what happens is I think they've got a payment process on, yes, access my money out of this account. Okay, well, what if I accept it? eBay's system tries to go into that account and get that money. There's no money there.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure. Unless eBay is going to hold, I guess, if somebody sends an offer $15 and eBay's system holds $15,
that's what would have to happen,
and acknowledges that they have $15 in their account to spend. I don't know how that works, but I feel like that's what happens is, they might have an account on file. That doesn't mean they have money in the account.
Yeah. And again, I could be wrong, and I've known to be wrong. But like, there's buyers out there. If I meant buyers and shoppers on eBay, they don't want to lose their shoppers. They don't want to lose their buyers. And
if they lose the people that don't pay, I guess I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I'm blocking those people. I'm blocking those people just through my preferences that have like non-payments or whatever. If they have whatever 1 or 2 non-payments or a history of that, I'm blocking them as a buyer anyway. And I think that, I don't know, most people probably do that as well. It sounds like a good business practice not to take.
What percentage would you guys say though? What percentage of people that send in an offer and then don't pay right away end up paying? Do you think it's more than half? I feel like it's more than half. I think when I accept an offer and the people that don't pay right away, they still end up, most of them, or at least half of them, still end up paying down the road. And it's because I feel like there's a couple reasons why, and I just want to say, there's definitely shoppers that I know that fill up their cart from different sellers, then pay all at once. They want to apply a coupon to it, because eBay does coupons, right? So like, let's say they have a 25% off coupon and they want to buy 30 things, and they're spending the course of 3 days just shopping to fill their cart and then use that coupon. So you have the potential of that eBay would have to figure that out for sure, because eBay wants to give them that coupon and eBay wants them to buy all 30 things that they're going to buy over the course of 3
but
days.
at that point, I can understand somebody that's shopping and filling a cart,
but
we're talking about an offer. That's an immediate thing that they have sent an offer on. That doesn't go in their cart, does it? If they send you an offer on something and you accept it, I'm asking, is that a separate transaction? That's not goes into your cart. Does it?
It goes into your checkout. When you go to checkout, it'll be there.
Okay.
So, and I'm not going to lie.
You can send them an invoice for, if they buy multiple things from you, you can send them an invoice for, combined shipping and that sort of deal.
Right.
Because that's what people will complain about. I get people that might want to buy a couple things and they don't want to pay shipping on each one.
Right.
Me, I just, I refund them the difference. It's not that process is pretty simple. And I get people don't want to do it, but eBay actually refunds the fees on that, because it used to be if you refunded, you just refunded your money.
Yeah.
But at some point, I think it was maybe in the spring update or whatever, if I refund $10 in shipping, I'm only actually going to give that person, $8.50 or whatever it is, and eBay is going to pay the rest of the fees. So that's not even an issue anymore.
Right.
So it's an issue. I just don't think it happens very often. So you're doing something that really hampers the majority of your sellers to make a very small minority happy. It doesn't make sense.
I got
Jimmy, to answer your question, it is a small percentage of the offers that I take or that I send out that the buyers accept that they don't pay for. Yeah. Or that you're waiting that 3 and 4, the 5 days, then you're sending out payment reminders, or you're sending out invoices that take time, and eventually they do pay.
Yeah.
It's those non-payers in the end although it's a small percentage, to me, it always seems to be on those really good items, those ones that you listed, and they're sending that offer or whatever in a couple days of listing. You know it's a great item, and now it is tied up for that amount of time. The buyers that pay the quickest are the things that have been sitting on my shelf for 6 months or a year. Oh yeah, they want to pay for that right away. But you list something really cool and you're excited about it, and you get that offer, and then 4 days later you're sending an invoice and they don't pay. Then you're relisting. And
well, and if it's during like fourth quarter, I mean, if it's leading up to Christmas, there's every chance that it's a hot toy or it's a hot item or whatever. You accept an offer because you need to move that out before the market crashes on it.
Yep.
Yes.
And then they wait, it's 5 days later, nobody's paid. Maybe the market's crashed in the meantime, and you're stuck holding the bag.
It can be your competitor. It could be your competitor locking your item up for 4 days because they don't want you to sell it. They want to sell it. So there's ugly stuff like that does happen. I agree. A competitor that's selling the same item is locking your item up for multiple days, so hopefully theirs sells. So yeah, I get that side of it. That part I don't like at all.
Maybe you got like a hot reliquary for sale or something like that. What you guys aren't moving reliquaries out like hand over fist?
I think it's a type of lizard, I think, Jimmy.
Is it? Wait, what's going on?
Actually,
all right, shout out. You guys just talk. I'm going to listen.
Shout out to Chris Cajun Reseller. That was comment of the week. The word of the week for next week for Jimmy is reliquary. And
look that up. I don't think
I don't know. A reliquary is a container for holding holy relics. You got, maybe you got a bunch of holy relics laying around. It's like, where do I keep these? Oh, I need to pick up a reliquary on eBay tomorrow. And now somebody else, my competitor that's selling all the reliquaries, he's tying up my hot item, fourth quarter. What am I going to do?
So, I love this conversation.
The question is, if somebody in New Orleans says reliquary, can you actually understand what they said?
How would someone because they have it's a different accent and
it's Cajun.
It's Cajun, yeah. It's kind of like a French almost, right? Yeah. I don't know.
It's just one of those things. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, you started off, Jimmy, going, it's just not that big a deal. On the surface, it's not. It's not. It's just a frustrating deal. And what's frustrating is eBay could fix it, and they don't.
Yeah.
They've been promising since probably last winter update.
Yeah. I agree with Troy 100%. This isn't technical, and that's why I question. They have to have a reason, and there's so many different opinions of what the reason could be. I don't know if maybe someone's talked to someone at eBay that knows the exact reason why, because it's definitely not technical. This is something they could do overnight and have it done. I mean, just go they're bigger than all these other platforms that you mentioned that already have figured it out. They can figure it out. So what's the real reason? And that's why I question, is it do they know their buyers so well? Do they know that their buyers love to use the system so well that they don't want to mess with their buyers? And what I meant used in the way like they're taking advantage of it a little bit, the system that they've created. But these buyers have figured out all these different things that eBay's had to adjust to, all the way back to when people were charging $99 shipping and $1 for the item to avoid fees and stuff. So that's why I asked that. I wonder what they know, and they want, are they trying to come up with a really good plan? I'm giving eBay way too much credit. I know. But
the thing is, maybe you're probably right. They just needed, why can't they tell us the real answer?
Yeah, right.
Don't come on and go, yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. It's we're the kid going out, are we there yet? Almost. Are we there yet? Almost. Right. Just give us an answer. Tell us the actual answer. And why don't we get to know?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Instead agreed. And that's your whole update. Yeah, is that we're working on it.
I mean, they did several other I'm trying to remember what else was in there. Oh, if you completely, and that was annoying too. because they take a 30-cent fee when they process your order, just like PayPal used to do. There's a 30-cent fee tacked on there on top of the percentage. There's that 30-cent transaction fee.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be like I think even if an order was canceled, you still lost that 30 cents.
Yep.
Now they're saying, hey, if you completely refund a buyer, we'll give you your 30 cents back on a return.
Yeah.
But I read that as saying that means I have to give a free return and completely give them a refund, and then I get 30 cents.
Now, my question would be,
is that a win for me?
Because you were still losing that. You were losing that 30 cents if they ordered it, paid, and then canceled. They asked to cancel. You still lost that. Is that still the case?
I think you get that back now.
Okay, that's a big one for me.
Getting that back, I think.
You used to lose
the update said something about like if you completely refund them, we'll give you your 30 cents. But I'm not completely refunding people. Like, I mean, I'm just not team free refunds, or free returns.
Right.
I know some are, but I'm not. And so I'm just not gonna like that doesn't really matter to me. Like, you're giving me 30 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got rid of you used to have to, when you scheduled a listing, like if you're going to be gone on vacation, you want to schedule listings out, it costs 10 cents or whatever. They got rid of that. So you can schedule it for free, which is nice. Yeah. You should be able to do that.
Well, that's actually awesome. I didn't know that. And I would like to
let's put that on the scale of, we're giving you 10 cents. We're charging an extra 0.35% on every sale. Like, you gave me a dime and you're going to take an extra 1/3%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but balance that out. You said, I'm selling 10 items a day. 0.35% on 10 items is going to add up, end of the year, what, maybe $300.
Yep. And that's really going to add up for the people that are selling expensive items. Like, it's, there's a lot of sellers, like, what we do. I worked for a company that sold on eBay. They did $1 million a year. Like, that's going to be huge for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does that. And eBay's just cashing it in.
And I don't mind, I'm not I see people all the time getting on complaining, eBay fees, eBay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it. Like, I have made the conscious decision to sell on eBay. I understand the fees. If you don't like the fees, go create, JimmyOldSchoolFlips.com and sell your stuff on there. How much do you think you're going to sell? You're not going to sell anything. You're playing in their sandbox. So pay the fees to play in their sandbox. I get it. I'm not complaining about paying fees. I'm not even really complaining about them raising fees, other than them trying to couch it in, look, we're doing all this good stuff for you, and we're going to try and get this immediate pay. So we got to charge you a little more.
Yeah. Like, you're right. Cause they did word it that way almost, right? Like, they almost worded it like, hey, in order to do this,
because we're working on this, we need to charge you a little bit extra.
They did word it that way too. You're right.
And but right before that, they said, we did all of this and we haven't charged you a thing for your eBay auto ads that are on TV and stuff. We didn't charge you any more for that, but we're going to sell you or, upcharge you here.
Why doesn't eBay advertise anywhere? I mean, you've seen the eBay Motors and you've seen there's that the authenticity. They've popped up here and there, but I see ads for Mercari constantly.
Yeah,
you see Poshmark all the time. I see the Real has. I mean, how big is the Real? It's below Mercari, and they're putting ads not just on like Google banners and stuff. Like, they're actually on the streaming services, like on TV.
Yeah,
eBay advertise. Like,
you know what I was going to say to that is, what I think they're missing a huge boat, because there's a lot of YouTube and TikTok and Instagram creators that are promoting for these smaller companies also, that eBay that the like Whatnot has gone to, and like they go to them and, hey, advertise for us on your YouTube channel or your social media account. I don't see eBay doing any of that either, and that's huge. To get a bigger YouTube channel or bigger TikTok channel to advertise for them would be huge for them. And they're not doing any of that at all.
No, because if you went out on the street and did, the man on the street question and asked 100 people, hey, did you know that eBay is still around? What percentage of those 100 people would go, really? That's still a thing?
Yeah.
There's going to be a few. There's going to be a few that had no idea people were still selling on eBay.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't we advertise that potential customers?
I agree
that it is just that it's an auction site where people start stuff at 99 cents, and there's a big bidding war, and that's what people think that it's about.
That's what people buy Beanie Babies, right? Like,
yes,
there's people that don't know what it is anymore, or that it's even still exists.
Yeah.
Advertise to those people. Like,
that's what I'll give Whatnot huge credit for. Like, they used viral celebrities, TikTok, these viral celebrities to promote them, and it's worked out great for them. I mean, they've got a bunch of people coming over there to shop, because you want people to sell, but you also want people to shop, and like they've used those viral TikTokers and those viral YouTubers to promote their selling app, and it's worked.
And they continue to team up with. They were at the NFL Combine and having players sign auto. They were doing like little 20-minute interviews and having them sign cards and different things live. People were bidding on the thing. They were watching them sign right there. And they were going for crazy money. And it's PSA certified because the PSA guy was sitting right next to him, goes, yep, that's it. They did a charity thing on there the other day with, it was like 6 or 8 different celebrities doing the same thing. It was a fundraiser for something. They had Post Malone doing the thing. They've got to deal with comics. Now they're showing up at conventions. And now they're branding themselves on, is it Marvel or DC? I think it's Marvel. They're actually branding. They have comic books coming out with Whatnot on the cover. Like,
wow.
Like it's a co-branded Whatnot cover.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you doing, eBay? What are you
Come on, eBay.
And this is,
come on.
I don't care what. And I mean, we all know eBay has to have way deeper pockets. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
They're raising our fees.
They're just going to take more fees from
us. Yeah, that's how they're making more money. They don't care if people buy or. It's frustrating. There were a couple things in the winter update that they talked about though that were helpful. They talked about adding the videos to that you could put videos right in your listing, kind of directly. You put them in there. I have been doing that since they updated that. Do either of you do?
I've never
videos?
I have not done a video.
I've done it a couple of times. It's one of those things where I felt like eBay, like they kind of, if they had the ability and the technology to do it, it probably wasn't hard. People were doing it already. Like, because you could do the HTML code and put it in your description.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
it felt like they looked at it and went, well, people are already using a backdoor way and putting it in there anyway. Let's just add it official.
Like, and where I'm doing it is if I sell, because we kind of sell a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the vintage toys and toys and things like that, is when if I have a little yes, Jimmy.
I'm just picturing Ken try to do this, and he's probably got the camera turned the wrong way, right? And it's aimed at him, and he's recording something. So you go to his eBay, and it's a video of him like looking up his nose while he thinks he's recording the toy. That's
the most difficult part I found so far is converting the VHS over to digital, because I've got the old Panasonic there. No, but anytime I have like a little animated stuffed plush or whatever, something, the Christmas toys, or if I have like a video game, something that makes noise, sound, moves around while I'm taking my pictures, because I've, got batteries in there to test it. I make a quick little 10-second video pushing the hand and watching it jump around and sing. And then when I go to upload my photos, boom, it automatically, you don't have to do anything else. Now, I think they've been quickening up that process of authorizing the videos, or because sometimes when it first started, when the tool first came out, it was taking a week. Well, some of those items are selling before the video even, or I've had buyers contact me. It says, in my description, I'll say, tested and working, see video. And they're asking me, I don't see a video. And then you got to explain, well,
I can't get this guy to make a single YouTube video, but he's putting videos all over eBay. That's his new approach, folks.
That's where all my content is. Go to my eBay store. Maybe we'll link it down below. And that the addition of more pictures. Now I've been working to take less pictures of stuff because I felt that I was taking too many and it was unnecessary, especially when you do your sold comps and you see that people are selling things with it's like, how did they sell that with this photograph? They just
photo with it in their hand, like
and it's like, I try to take decent photos, but it is nice. There are some advantages to having more pics if you need to really show, and so that's been helpful. What the one update I think that they should do is how often do you need 81 characters in your title? You know, it always comes up to the end. It's like, you get 80 characters. I should be able to explain this, and I always end up one short.
Right, that's so true.
So I'm going to submit that for the spring update.
Troy,
81 characters.
Do you narrate your videos on eBay? Like, do you, with your voice that you got, do you like do the eBay videos and then narrate what you're testing at all? Or?
No, I should do more. I've done a handful of videos is all. And I'm probably just too lazy to do it. You know, I try to streamline it.
That's my reason.
My whole thing is like, let's make this as streamlined as possible. Yep. So I try to batch things. I make all my drafts at the same time. And so then I have a whole, you know, whatever I'm going to do for the day, I'll make like 8 drafts. I price it, you know, I put the weight, I put everything. And then I go through, and at some point later in the day, I take all the pictures. And then at some point while I'm sitting watching TV or something, taking a break, I'll throw them into photo room and, you know, clean, you know, get the background out.
Yep.
And upload them to the draft that's already there, because that's mindless at that point. You can just attach the photos and upload. And so you can kind of take a break while you're working.
So you physically have the item in your hand while you're drafting it then, right?
Yeah, usually.
That's just that's interesting. It's so interesting.
After I take pictures of it, I put it away. And then so it's put away before I even list it.
That's something that I like. I love that you just said that, because I do mine the total opposite, but that makes a lot of sense too. Like, I clean the items, then I picture the items, then I list them. But what you're doing actually makes a lot of sense, because you have the item in your hand. You're making a draft without pictures. I got you.
Right.
Yeah, that's really smart.
And then, you know, so you're pointing out any flaws, anything like that. So then you kind of make that mental note of, I got to take a picture of that little scuff.
And see, when I take my pictures, I make sure I take pictures of the stuff that I need to know when I'm listing it, because I don't have the item in my hand. Interesting. That is interesting. That's actually
it works for me.
I'm not that smart.
So. I kind of do the same thing that Troy does. I do my drafting, you know, while I have the item and I'm weighing it, and then all the drafts are done. Then I take all the photos of all of those items. Then it's just pop them into the listing, and you're good to go from there.
You're smarter than me.
I got a question for you. It brings up, because I mentioned photo room, and it just it made me think about, because I've been talking with Courtney over at Bolo Buddies.
Yep.
Yes.
Super nice lady. She's got a Facebook group.
Definitely.
And somebody mentioned photo room in there, and it keyed off this massive conversation. And there were way more people in that conversation than I would have imagined that were complaining about how they hate because photo room, for people that don't know it, it's an app on the phone, and it basically gives you a pure white background around whatever.
I want to say it works great for those of you. It works
really good.
It's the best one. It's
95% of the time it does it great. Every once in a while you find something that doesn't work, but usually it works well. There were a ton of people that popped up in there saying that they hate listings like that have the white background. There are people and a lot of them said, well, I see that, I just assume it's a scam or it's a stock photo, and they don't really have that, and that just seems super scammy to me. Like, how is that and people going, I'd rather see the pictures of the shoes on somebody's kitchen table, so I know they're real and those people have it, than with the foot. It baffled me. I didn't understand why so many people would think, and I commented to somebody, because what one guy said, I asked him, how would this be a scam? Like, why is it scammy? Why do you think you see my white picture and you think, oh, that's a scam? He says, oh, well, because I don't know if you edit the picture, that you didn't edit anything off of, any damage or any flaws off of the item as well. And I guess and of course he never answered. My question back was, why would I spend the time? Why do you think I have the time, the inclination, the skill, the desire to Photoshop a $20 pair of shoes?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. No. Who's going to get in and spend all that time to airbrush out little? And even if they did, you get those shoes, and everybody knows that eBay sides with the buyer more often than not on issues like that. You say, hey, this is item not as described. Whoop, send it back.
Yeah.
I don't see, of course,
my number my number one rule to any new seller, and my number one rule and advice is don't try to get over on the buyer. You will.
No.
It's a huge mistake. Be as everything. Make your pictures as accurate as possible. Make your description. So, like, if you're trying to do something like that, you're wasting your time. Like,
yes,
it's a huge mistake.
Over deliver is my like. I don't know how many comments I've got or how many feedback of this looks better than the pictures or this is better than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And that's great. That's how I want to do it. I don't want to undersell my stuff, but I want to. You know, it's just a weird sentiment to like see like a clean background and go, that's a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's interesting in that, would I be wrong in saying that most of the people that would be in, say, Courtney's, the Bolo Buddies Facebook page, wouldn't they mostly be sellers anyway?
Yeah.
And why would a seller think that, I mean, they understand the process, and have they been contacted by buyers and said, that's a scam?
I consider it a compliment, but I've had buyers reach out to me because they didn't think the item. Now, I don't use photo room. I've took the time way early on to come up with a nice seamless backdrop with the perfect lighting. And so my pictures turn out really, really good without using it. Now, if I didn't do that early on, I would be using photo room, and I use photo room for my clothes. But I've had people ask me, hey, can I see a picture of the actual item you'll be shipping? And I'm like, what do you mean?
That's
like,
it.
Well, this isn't it in the picture. This is like a stock photo. Like, no, I've had that question multiple times.
Yeah, I've gotten it before.
And I tell them, well, thank you for the compliment, but that's the actual item that will ship out to you if you buy it, what you see in the picture. So I've had people question that as a buyer's question that I have.
Yeah. I like, just for the reason that you mentioned, like you have a photo set up. Yep. I don't really have anywhere that I can, I don't have a spot where I can really do that consistently.
Right. It takes up a lot of space.
And what I like is with photo room, it changed things around for me so much because I had to I had to make it work. I had a little light box that I had to always use. Some things didn't fit in it. So last night I listed just a couple of things. I didn't list much yesterday, but I got a couple of things yesterday at like this vintage market. And I thought, I want to list them right away. They're easy. Yeah. I got 2 records. I took pictures of them on my kitchen counter.
That's awesome.
I got a denim jacket. I took a picture of it on my kitchen floor.
Yep.
You don't know where I took a picture of it because on eBay, it's a white background all around it. Yeah. As long as it's well lit, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't tie you to one location. I can list wherever I am and my store remains consistent.
Man, we should really get them for a sponsor.
That'd be cool.
I'm not.
Photo room. Yeah, I'll work on that for next week.
If you've never tried it, I recommend, and you can use it for free. There's a
free version.
Things you have to skip over. If you do the paid, it's a lot faster. I use the free because I don't use it a lot. I only use it for my clothes. So you have to say no to a couple things, but it's 2 extra steps.
Yeah, I have the paid version just for
lets you batch photos though.
The photos is the
50 at a time.
So the paid version is worth it if you're going to use it for every listing. If you have a lot of volume and you're going to use it, it's great, and it works great. Troy's not lying; it works.
Yeah,
I take pictures of my clothes on my wooden floor, and I don't ever have one that comes out bad. Because I'm using the wood floor backdrop and nothing's ever that color. It always cleans it up perfectly.
I'm glad we're all team photo room.
Yeah, team photo room.
There we go. We finally agreed on something. I know
there are other tools out there.
Be part of a winning team, guys. I'm happy. I kind of like my nerve.
Feel like he was part of a team and not the outsider for everything. Like
I would imagine too, Jimmy, that you're feeling kind of starstruck anyway. Having both me and Troy here at the same time, and you were a bit apprehensive.
How's
that for a word?
You talked about this. I'm nervous about this show.
You had a little bit of trepidation, is what you're saying.
I don't know what that word means.
Did you have any reliquary though about it?
I actually watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade yesterday.
There you go.
So I would take the Holy Grail and put it in there.
There you go.
See, I know what I'm talking about now. I sounded almost smart.
Almost.
Let's make sure we
turned into some weird reseller version of Sesame Street here by the end.
Yeah, I needed I need to be a little smarter earlier in the week. I had texted Jimmy and I was like,
don't do this.
I was like, hey, I just sold a $40 item for $10. Hashtag worst reseller ever.
Hashtag
and,
learn how to send offers, buddy.
Well, so here's what happened with this though. I was sending offers. I don't know if this ever happened to anybody else. I was sending offers and I usually send them in bulk. And when you do it in bulk, it comes up the percentage off, and I was doing 10% off on those particular items. I sent that and I went back to my page, and there was an item. It was like $46 or something like that. And I was it's like, oh, I should send the offer on that too. And so I just went back to the offers page and put 10 in the thing, and didn't pay attention to when you're doing one single item that it defaults to offer amount and not percent. And I put the 10 in there, and boom, I sent the offer out. And of course, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, cha-ching, it's like, oh, cool, I sold that thing already. Oh, wait, $10. How'd that happen? I was like, oh, really? So I just ate it. It was one of those things I'm
gonna make you feel better. Make you feel better. You know how I learned about that?
How's that?
Ryan Roots at Rally Roots did that on like $100-something item. He did the exact same thing you did. $10 too. He was doing 10% off.
Well, hey, I'm in good company.
Yeah. So it's a video. That's how I learned about it.
You shipped it out though, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I see people do that, and then like on Facebook groups, and then you'll get half a dozen people go, "I just cancel it."
That sucker paid right away. They didn't
problem with address. You cancel it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that offer paid instantly. Yeah, I shipped it out. It was an item. I didn't have anything in it, and so it was still profit, and it wasn't worth the hassle of the canceling the order, of maybe having an upset buyer. It's hey, here's a good lesson. I will pay attention from now on when I'm sending out those single offers. But and then again, then I'm telling Jill's my girlfriend, my loving, sweet girlfriend, and her comment was, so how did you enjoy your first day of reselling? And I'm like, no love or support.
And I was like, he was telling me that he's going to start trying some new sales strategies and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if that's the best new sales strategy.
I better get the old format down first before I start some new. I did investigate a few things. Jimmy, I want to talk to you about that at some point, that coupon deal that we were talking about. Some more things I learned. And so
you keep up that method, you're going to move some volume though.
You're going to move.
I am. It's out of here.
Matter of fact, I'm going to watch all of your listings. I'm going to source. I'm going to wait for Ken to send the $10 offer.
Watch them all and get $10 offers. Hey, sometimes they're 5% off. I was
gonna say, what if you're doing a 5% offer?
Yeah,
5% all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
everybody
that's
go over. It's a great source.
Follow Ken's store.
Oh, that's great.
So, Troy, what do you got coming? What do you got coming down the pipe here from the mountain? What's new and exciting?
I never really know. I mean, I kind of do this thing day by day, to be honest with you. I'll have more video. I'm running out of garage sale footage that I sort of held on from the summer because I haven't had garage sales for a while here. And it's lasted longer than it did last year because this year I went into it kind of knowing, okay, I have to save some so I can spread it out.
Yep.
So I've still got a few more garage sale videos I can put out, but after that, I'm waiting for the garage. But I do like what sold videos, and I'll probably have some Q&As coming up. Somebody, Brian Klaus said, "Hey, you got to do a Q&A." Yeah. Brian Klaus says I got to do it. I got to do it. So I've taken some questions from folks. I'll do one of that. I'm hoping in the next little bit to work a little bit more. I started a little side channel, and I'm hoping to work on that a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you want to go check out, it's Big Sky Paranormal, and it's when I go and randomly something. It started when I was in radio. I had just started at the radio station, and I thought I want to do something to. Basically, I wanted to prove myself. It was early October, I think it was fall, and I wanted to be like, look, you hired the right guy. And so I thought, I love those old radio shows. My dad used to listen to them, and I like the radio dramas and stuff.
Yes.
I always thought they were cool. So I thought, well, Halloween's coming up. let's go do like a radio show. I'll follow these guys around that are ghost hunters and we'll do a story on it. It'll I thought it would play well on radio. And it turned into a hit on the radio station. Like people loved it. Kids, my wife teaches, kids were listening to it. We did it on Halloween morning is when we aired it. And so kids were coming to school going, your husband's the one on the radio with the ghosts, right? Like everybody was listening to this thing. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to transfer it. Once I left the radio station, did this full time, started YouTube. Let's do it on YouTube. And so I've gone a couple of times. I locked myself in a haunted, the old haunted state prison.
Yeah.
And got some crazy stuff from there. And then we've actually done that twice now. I've got one of the videos up on the new channel. I need to put the other one up there. And I did actually here just a couple months ago, we did an old bordello, which was fun. The longest running bordello in the United States. Actually,
really,
it shut down in the 80s. Like it ran for a long time.
Well, I'm gonna link it down below. I just subscribed.
Yeah, Big Sky Paranormal.
I've only got 2 videos on there right now. I've got one other one that was on my Mountain Man channel. We premiered them on Halloween night a couple of times and watched them with folks. So I'm shunting it over there, but I'm going to work on different investigations over there. That's sort of the side gig, and it's fun. Like
we're gonna have to get him out to Ohio to do a paranormal investigation at the prison out there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption? You've seen Shawshank, right?
Yeah.
That prison that they filmed at is right there in the same town where my girlfriend is from, and been over there several times. But they do paranormal ghost hunts at that. It's a scary looking place in the daytime, in the middle of the day. I can only imagine being there at night. So
it's been fun. It's a neat thing. It's a different, right now, I mean, because I'm an itty bitty, like I can't get in on the merits of, like, before I was like, hey, I'm with a radio station, and that got me some access, right? I can't go, hey, I've got a YouTube channel with 300 subscribers.
Everybody,
like, so I've been using a couple. There's a group that sort of does them across a bunch of states. There's actually one in Cannon City, Colorado, that I want to go check out, an old monastery there.
I want to go.
It sounds really cool. That's on my list. So I'm sort of using another group that does this, but they do it all night long. And it's usually only, maybe 20 people. And by about midnight, half of them are like, I'm cold, I'm tired, let's go.
Time to go.
And so I'm actually in some of these places, for all intents and purposes by myself in certain locations. And it's definitely creepy being, because you see like the TV shows and they're like, I'm by myself. No, you got like 3 cameramen and a producer and a guy holding the big mic thing.
Someone holding your coffee for you.
Yeah, you got a key grip over there.
Right. When it's me, I've got like my camera and me. Like I am literally alone. So I think it adds a different element, and it's kind of it's fun. And I've actually recorded some. Like my wife is the biggest, like whatever you're doing. And I've played her some of the stuff that I recorded with my own equipment. And she's like, yeah, whatever. She can't explain it. Like, no,
you whispered that yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
I just subscribed as well. Big Sky Paranormal. Very cool. Awesome. Got the haunted prison, the haunted brothel. Now, are you able to distinguish the moans? Like that are in the brothel? Are you able to tell if it's the despair of death or
Ben, if you watch that video, we got some interesting responses to I at one point said, now remember where we're at and use that as context for the stuff that we record.
Okay.
So
I'm interested. Yeah, that stuff interests me. And so I'm definitely gonna check that out.
We lost
Jimmy. I cracked Jimmy up right there.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Jimmy, do you know what a bordello is?
I do.
Okay. I was worried that you were lost there.
No, I'm there. I'm with you.
Syllables and all.
That's great.
No, that sounds.
Well, Troy,
that's awesome.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Troy, we appreciate you coming on the show, spending some time with us, doing a point counterpoint with Jimmy. Jimmy, were you convinced now? Are you still on the side of you don't care about,
but I still don't care a ton. I just
all right. So
you know what you are? You're ambivalent.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
I need to start reading more.
Troy's a word guy. Do you do math, Troy? If you do math
and radio for my career, my wife's an English teacher. So
you do words and math, you might not be welcome here anymore.
I don't do math. I don't do numbers.
All right.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
1 out of 2.
Then we'll have you back. Of course, we're gonna have you, commentate the big Nerf quarterback challenge.
I've done PA too, so I can do it. I've officially gotten a check from Major League Baseball because I was the backup to the backup for the PA for our minor league baseball team here. So I did like 10 days one time in a row of like a homestand doing the stadium PA work. So that was fun. So I could do it in person there.
Yeah. You can watch me win for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
We created a monster.
It takes a lot of work to get the echo down. So that's good job.
You're surprised.
Great. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. Jimmy, you got anything else?
I've too many big words for me in this show already. I'm done.
Jimmy's just confused and dazed. Troy, thank you. We'll catch you on Mountain Man Treasures. Mountain Man. Treasures.
There you go.